Okay, hi folks. Let's get started. The content that we're dealing with in this video is around verb tense and aspect in English. So here you see all the verb tenses in English. There are quite a few. I think there are even more than we see here. And the aspects that go with them. And you might be thinking, wow, this looks confusing. But it's not. Once you see the pattern, you will realize that actually English is logical. And the fact that you are a human, at least I assume you are, and you understand time, present, past, future, you can actually make sense of this quite easily. So first, let's talk about how humans understand time and express their understanding of time in language. Well, humans worldwide understand the concept of past, present, and future. One could indeed argue or claim that this understanding time is part of what makes us human. Do animals understand time? Well, maybe. My cat knows when it's time to be fed, and she lets me know by meowing at me, but certainly the understanding amongst humans is different, and it's because we have language that we're able to show it and express this concept, past, present, and future, in different ways in our different languages. All human languages deal with and express some concept of the passage of time. It's just we all do it differently in different languages. In English, here's how we do it. Okay, so we start with past, present, and future, the concept of time. Everyone watching this video understands this part of it. What we also do in English then, to make sense of it in our language, is we have what's called aspect. And that is simple, continuous, and perfect. Keep in mind that in some textbooks and some teachers will call this progressive. It's the same thing. Okay, so we see the grid here: past, present, future, time, simple, continuous, perfect, aspect. Well, okay, in the present simple, we would say I walk. The past simple is I walked, and the future simple is I will walk. The simple tenses highlighted in yellow are used to show habits or facts. Let's look at the next column. The continuous tenses. The present continuous, well, I am walking. The past continuous, I was walking. And the future continuous, I will be walking. Continuous tenses all have ing, and they're used to show action or process. Now, how do we understand that it's present continuous? First off, we see the ing, so we know the aspect is continuous. But what about the time? Well, am is present. Will be is future. Was is past. And then let's look at the perfect ones. The perfect tenses are used to show finished results, and they all have a past participle. So here's our past participle: walked, walked, walked. How do you know it's past perfect? Because of the had, that's past. How do you know that it's present perfect? Because of have, that's present tense. How do you know that it's future perfect? Well, here you have will. Okay, so this is how we form the tenses. And this is, again, your understanding of time makes this easier. And now we understand the aspect: ing for continuous, participles for perfect. And let's keep going. Okay, so here we have 9 different tenses, but here you also see 3 more. English is crazy and cool. It is also logical in a way, though, because here you have the past had, perfect, been, there's our past participle, continuous, ing. Let's look at the pattern. Present, have, perfect, been, continuous, ing. And future, will, the perfect is been, and the continuous is ing. So these are what I call the hybrid tenses because they're both perfect and continuous. So it's about a result after an action or a process. I have been walking shows us a finished result in the future, or sorry, in the present. This is present tense. I have been walking, a finished result in the present after a process. Here we have a finished result in the future after a process. And here in the past, a finished result in the past after the process, walking. I think what we need to do, of course, is try it out. Look at some differences and have a quick check on, well, these 5 sentences are really strange. Why are they strange? And what would be better? This one says, ouch, I've been cutting my finger. Let's think about that. It sounds funny and weird in English because, well, if we think about the continuous, right, it's all about action or process. Cutting shows us it's a process, but why would you do this for a period of time? Like, you wouldn't continue to cut your finger. You know, it sounds like you've been doing this for whole minutes or hours, or so it sounds weird. In this kind of a situation, you don't want to talk about the process. You want to talk about the result, which is, ouch, I have cut my finger, or I cut my finger. But in any way, in this situation, you do not want to use ing. Let's look at this one as well, number 4. I'm really sorry, but I've been crashing into the back of your car. Huh? That sounds weird. Again, in this case, in number 4, it's not about the action over time, ing. Here we want to say something about the results, which is, yeah, sorry, dude, I've crashed into the back of your car, or I crashed into your car. This is a weird one. You wouldn't use ing in a sentence like this. Okay, what about number 2? Hey, why is your hair all wet? I've swum. Well, in this case, in this context, it would feel more natural to talk about the action, right? Swimming. So what would be better? Well, hey, why is your hair all wet? I've just been swimming, or I just went swimming. You want the ing in this one in any case because it's about the action, swimming. What about this one? Oh, you've got tears in your eyes. Why have you cried? Oh, this sounds weird, right? It's about crying. It's about the action over time. There are tears in your eyes. Why have you been crying? Have you been crying? Were you crying? Ing is more natural in this one, number 3. And in number 5, I've written my autobiography this afternoon. Well, unless your life was really boring, right? Because you write an autobiography about your own life. Unless your life was really boring or you're very, very young and your life has been short, you can't write a whole autobiography in one afternoon. So it sounds kind of weird here to use the present perfect. Wait, what? How did I know that was the present perfect? Because here I have my past participle written, and here I have a present tense, have. What would sound more natural? Well, I've been working on my autobiography this afternoon, or I finished my autobiography this afternoon. Or, yeah, in any case, to say I have written makes it sound like you started in the morning and you finished in the afternoon. This is a kind of a tricky one. In any case, you don't want to use this tense for this situation. All right, keep on looking at some examples. Here we have the past tense. It could be the past perfect simple or the past perfect continuous. Now, if you're getting confused about, wait, what? All these different terms and labels, do English teachers need to know these? Yeah, we do. But don't worry, there's a pattern and there's logic to it. Okay. What is the difference? Well, how do we know this is past perfect continuous? Well, it's continuous because of the ing. This is past perfect simple. How do we know that? Or just past perfect? Because here we don't have an ing. All right, it's all in the past. Here's an example. I had been thinking for weeks about buying that jacket, but I finally decided it was too expensive. What you notice here is everything is in the past. That's what makes this a past context. Had, decided, right? This is past perfect, and it's always about something happened before something else in the past. Well, what about this one? I had never met that guy before we worked on the marketing project together. Here, what happened first? They worked on the marketing project. And what never happened? He never met the guy before that. That's past perfect, an action before another action in the past. Well, let's look at more examples. Okay, the ground was wet. What feels more natural? It had been raining for days or it had rained for days? What do you think? Do you want to emphasize more here the action or the result? Well, the result, we see it here, the ground was wet. But I think the more logical thing is to show the action. It had been raining for days. What about this one? We had been running for an hour when I suddenly felt bad. Or we had run for an hour when I suddenly felt bad. You know what? This one's a nice one because it gives you a clue. Here it shows you the duration of time, right? For an hour. Usually in English, when we know how long something lasted, we choose an ing. It feels more natural. We had been running for an hour when I suddenly felt bad. What about this one? I wasn't hungry because I had already been eating a big lunch. I wasn't hungry because I had already eaten a big lunch. Well, in this one, it feels more natural to say, I had already eaten a big lunch. It was a finished result. This one sounds weird, right? What you could do at this point is pause the video and try number 4, just number 4. And when you've done number 4, click to the next. Let the video play through. Okay. Here we're looking at the present. Again, we're talking about perfect and continuous. How do we know it's the present? Well, because you have. That's a present tense. I've been thinking about it forever, but I'm still not sure. Do you see the difference here? Here it's about all in the past. Here it's about the present. I'm still not sure right now in the present. And that's the continuous. I've thought about it and finally decided not to do it. Okay, so dit is net gebeurd, like this just happened. I've thought about it, and here it's more about the result, right? Here it's about the action, here it's about the result. Thinking, action, thought, result. Here's an example. Ugh, I'm exhausted. And here again, like last time, we saw there's a tijdsduur. We see the duration of time. And when we have a tijdsduur, when we see how long something lasted, it's natural for English to choose the ing. I've been working very hard all day. Hey, look, here's another clue. for 3 hours. We know how long it lasted, so it would make sense to choose the ing. We've been waiting for you for 3 hours. What about this one? I have been painting the room. It looks great, don't you think? Well, here we know it's basically done. It looks great. So it would be better to choose the fulltoid Delvord, the past participle. That is the finished result. I have painted the room. Looks great, don't you think? How about this one? Try number 4. Pause the video, give it a try, and then unpause and let the video continue playing. All right, and here we see the future. Again, continuous or perfect. How do we know it's the future? There's will. Here's an example. This time next week, I will be laying on the beach and soaking up the sun in Jamaica. I can't wait. Here we want to show what you will be doing at a certain time in the future. And it's more about the action, right? Laying on the beach, soaking up the sun. Here, it's about something finished in the future. It's the perfect. I will have finished my degree in communications management by the end of 2015. And here what you see is there's kind of a clue in the sentence. When we use by the end of or by the time, then we're usually talking about a finished result, like here. This time tomorrow, and like with this one, you see a clue in the sentence. It's at a certain time in the future. What will I be doing? Well, this time tomorrow, I'll be flying to France. So it's about the action in the future at a certain moment. What about here? Sorry, but I can't come at 5 o'clock tomorrow. I will be playing or I will have played football. Well, here it's logical to say, at that moment in the future, I will be doing something else. I can't come at 5 because I will be playing football with my friends, with my mates. Let's try number 3 together. By this time next year, I will be finishing my degree program. Or by this time next year, I will have finished. Again, here we want to show the end result in the future. I will have finished my degree program. All right. Try number 4. Pause the video, give it a try, and then we can talk about your ideas and your answers. All right? And that's it for now. This has been long enough. I do hope that this has been helpful. And thanks for watching.